Hello everyone. So this class we are going to see end-to-end project for machine learning. So we'll start with understanding the problem, doing data analysis, and after that we'll work on the model of what we're going to use for this machine learning project, and then finally we'll go with the deployment. So this class will be a little longer, and I will be split into multiple small classes. So I'm going to take Titanic dataset, guys. So if you don't know about Titanic dataset, so this is about how many people survived versus how many people not survived in Titanic crash, right? So I'll just simply go to the Kaggle Titanic and I'll take out this dataset. So just Google it, Kaggle Titanic, and you can go to the this project and we can take this data set, guys. So let me just open it, and if you see here, so this Titanic machine learning from disaster, right? So this project we have to use, I'm going to use this data which is here. So any machine learning project, guys, to understand in a simple way, right, we can define into different steps that what we have to do. And if you see here, I've tried written that what we need to do, right? So first, like, we have to understand what is the prerequisite and the resources, like what resources we have, right? What is your problem statement will be the next thing. Like, you have the resources, you have the data, you collect all the data, you keep all the data with you, right? Like all necessary data that you need. And then by seeing the data, by understanding the problem, you define that what is your problem statement. You understand what is the problem, right? What we are going to find, what we are going to take out from the this problem, right? And then next thing, like, you take the data and we'll explore the data more. Like we already learned about pandas and NumPy in the previous class. So we'll go into more into exploratory data analysis, which we call as the EDA, right? And we will do pandas and NumPy only for doing that. Okay, so quickly I'll just go through this data. So this data has a train set and test set. Both are given into this data sets. Okay, and if you so we have to use a training set, obviously, right? And test set will be the after your model is ready, then we'll use that test set to test our model, that what is accuracy and everything, right? So we will do that, but this is the data we have, and it has these many columns. So survival is basically giving if the person survived or not survived, right? And the values are 0 and 1. So 0 means no and 1 means yes. Okay, and there is a class, there is a sex, age, and sibling, spouse aboard on Titanic. So every kind of data is here, guys. If you see, there is a ticket, fare, Parch, Kevin embarked from where the person has onboarded the ship. So everything is there in this data set. Okay, and now let me. So you can just go to this data set and download it. Okay, I already downloaded it here. So I have my train and test CSV already here. Okay, so what we are going to do, first thing always, right, before starting, import NumPy and pandas. So you can also try along with me. So import NumPy, import pandas as PD. Okay, let's run this. Okay, put NumPy as pandas. Sorry guys, pandas as PD. Okay, we add few more cells. Okay, this is completed. Now first thing, like, let's get our data frame, right? So PD dot data frame. Sorry, yeah, sorry. PD dot read CSV, read underscore CSV, and we have to take the train set. If you have not copied it, just copy under your project, guys. Just copy it under your project, so directly you can access it using your Jupyter Lab. Okay, uh, so train dot CSV, whatever you're giving the name, right, use the same name. I have given train dot CSV. I just saved using I saved using this train dot CSV name, so I'm directly giving that name. So if you are giving training set, right, you use the training set. Okay, and that load your DF. So this is loaded. Next thing, like, we want to see df dot head, right? Sorry, df dot head. So you'll see, okay, your data is coming. You can see here it is a passenger ID. Index is given by the data frame itself, right? So index is coming, passenger ID, survived. Okay, and there is a class, the name of the person, sex of the person, age, and everything is coming. If you see, right, whatever we saw here, every item is coming here. All the columns are here, right? So there is another function in data frame, guys, which I like a lot, which is the sampling it, right? Data df.sample. So you can, it is like when I do head, right, I get top 10 or top 5. By default, it is giving me 5. Tail, I get last 5, right? If you do sample and just let's go with 20, I generally take a 20. So I get good, mixed data set. So here it will take me at random. So randomly it will give me from anywhere from the data set, right? So now you can see you have a pretty mix of passengers IDs here. Like it some from the top, some from the bottom also. If you see, this is 876, and I'm still getting it, right? So you'll see right there, I can see in cabin I'm getting a lot of NaN. Na is nothing but there is a no value, there is a none, right? Nothing is given on that. So we have a data set which also have a nulls. Okay, so I'm getting out of it. And what else you can see here? If you see, okay, this sib sp, right, the sibling, right? This is for the sibling. There is 0, there is 1, and if you see, there is 0 1, and this is mostly very few values. This is also kind of a categorical value, right? And in survived you have 0 and 1 only. We already saw that. In class you have 1 3 and 2. There is nothing else from that. 1 2 and 3, right? So there are 3 classes. So by getting the sample you can understand that what you have, right? And if you see here in embarked also, from the person onboarded the Titanic, right? There is also there is a none in this one. NaN is there, right? That means there is a null, right? So okay, by seeing this, you are getting that okay, we have a data where in few columns we don't have a value, right? So we are getting gist of that. Okay, so quickly what we can do, we can see the info, right? We can see the info that will give us more detail if anything is null or not, right? So df.info. Okay, so when I do df.info, it is giving me data type, how many non-null, right? So if you see, I have total 891 entries. Okay, if you see, most maximum entry is 891 here, right? So, and if you see range index also here, it is having 891 total entries. Okay, and if you see here, this age has nulls. And if you see, Kevin has lot of nulls, right? I have only value in only 204. Remaining all are null. Age has 714, so remaining all are null, right? And what else? So this has couple of value. Embarked has only two nulls, 889, right? So 291 is the maximum rows, and 889 has a value. So by seeing that, we got to know that age is something that we have to worry on the data cleanup, and cabin and embarked, right, where we have a null value. Okay, so if you're able to see that also, that is fine. By seeing that, if you have lot of columns also, so there is something some other method that you can use, which is df is null, right? And is null method you can use, and you can also make a sum of it. So I'm just putting a sum, so I can get all is null and sum of it. Okay, so if you see, I'm getting age, I have 177 null, 687, and impact has 2. Remaining all are, there is no nulls. Okay, by seeing that, you can go that. Okay, now, okay, so we have a fair understanding of our data. This is how is our data, right? And we know what the data looks like. And by seeing that, we can easily make out an understanding that uh, uh, depending on cabin will be not reliable, because we have more than we have total 881, 891. Out of that, 687 is null. We cannot be dependent on this data, right? So cabin is something which cannot be trusted, guys, here, right? Or cannot be taken into consideration for our training the model, right? It is clearly giving us indication here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the cabin, because this data is not useful. This particular row, or this particular information in the cabin won't be any useful, because I cannot make any assumption where my data, I don't have a proper data in that. I don't have a proper 80-90% of that particular column is null. I cannot trust that, right? So I'm just going to drop that. Okay, and what else we have? I have a passenger ID. Okay, passenger ID is something, every passenger is onboarding, right? So there will be ID it. That is something, guys, that will be completely on random, right? That won't be defining your where you are, I mean where you onboarded, or that is not a critical information that I think, like a passenger ID and also the ticket number. If you see here, ticket and passenger ID is right. Let me just quickly show you. So passenger ID is just a number, and this will be all different number for all different person. So there will be passenger ID will be unique for every person, right? I cannot use anything of that. If you do a correlation here, you will see that passenger ID will having very low correlation with survived or not survived, because every passenger ID has a different ID, right? It is a unique ID for every passenger. And second thing is like your ticket number. Here ticket number, if you see, there is a digit, and here you have a 4 digit. So it's completely at random. That is your, what is your ticket number. This will be, I think, unique for all the passengers, right? And I think if you talk about fare also, it might be same, but here I at least fare might be same. If you see here, right, it is very close. So first thing is like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop passenger ID. I'm going to drop ticket number, and I'm also going to drop the cabin, guys, because we know that cabin has lot of uh, nulls, right? Not of a lot of nulls. So there are 687 values of null. Okay. So let me just add few more cells. And what we are going to do, we are going to now we are going to write what df dot drop. If you remember from the pandas class, so we are just simply dropping, and we are dropping list of columns. And if you want to see all the columns, right, you can also you can also, let me just add another column here. You can also go by df dot columns. This will give you all columns list, df dot columns. Okay, run this and I'll see all the index columns here, right? Passenger ID, survived, everything is coming, and this will help you to copy paste if you just want to copy paste it, right? Because the names, if you see something is in uppercase and lowercase, so try to copy only if you can copy the column names, right? That is better. The chances of error is less. Okay, so first thing, like I want to take the passenger ID. Passenger ID want to drop. Okay, and next thing I want to drop is uh, ticket, right? Ticket, which is here. I'll drop this here. Okay, and last thing is cabin. Cabin I want to drop, right? So let me just drop this one also. Okay, run this. Okay, df equal to df dot drop passenger ID. Okay, one more thing, guys. So I'm just, let me just provide access equal to 1. Okay, now it is dropped. So why we need to give access equal to 1, right? So if you remember, this is a data frame. This is the data frame, right? So you have rows and columns, right? So, and we are dropping from the column, right? Rows are axis 0 and columns are axis 1. Like you're getting it, right? So this is a data set, right? Our data set here. Let me just go, but I'll just give little explanation here. So this columns are axis 1, guys, and always row is column 0, sorry, axis 0. So whenever you're dropping something to the data frame, you have to mention the axis from where you want to drop it, right? So it will go and find that. Okay, so this is ran. Okay, I'll just quickly take a look on the df.info and see what is, so you'll know what is null and all, right. So now we have 891 entries, total 9 columns, and I have a age where I have some null, and embarked also I have some null. Okay, so what we are going to do, this age is something that different, there is a different ages. If you see, there are kids also, there are old people also in this one, right? So what we are going to do, we are going to do the mean of it. So what we'll do, we'll take a mean of that. So okay, let's write that from df. We want to use age, right? Age is the column, and then wherever we have null, right? Wherever we have null, I want to fill na. So there is a function called fill na. Okay, so you can fill na where I have a age, right? So df, and then age is the column, right? And what I want to fill with, I want to fill with mean of it, right? So mean, okay, and then I want to in place equal to true. So you can provide this in place equal to true, guys, always. So it will not create copy of it. Okay, it will just update your df only. Okay, so if you don't provide in place is equal to true, if you don't provide anything, by default the in place is false. Okay, so if you don't provide, it will create a copy. It will just create a copy in your df. The original df will not change. Okay, so always provide in place equal to true if you're making this kind of changes. And what is the next thing? We have a embarked, right? So df and where embarked. Okay, just copy it here, embarked, there's a space. Okay, and we want to fill na as a method in df dot embarked again. And this embarked is only two places, right? What we'll do, so we have lot of values, right? What we'll do, we'll just simply take a mode of it. Okay, we'll simply take a mode. If you don't know about this mode and medium, this is a similar this is the same thing which you have studied in mathematics. So you can also take a tutorial on tutorial for this one. I'll put a playlist link below, like whatever necessary maths for machine learning, right? I'm creating a tutorial. You can take a look into that. Okay, I'll put in place equal to true, in place equal to true. Okay, so we have age which is getting replaced, all fill na is replaced with mean of it, and embarked is getting replaced wherever we have fill na in embarked, we are going to replace with mode. Okay, we are given in place equal to true. Now let's run this one. What happened? Fill na got an experiment in place. Dot mode in place equal to true. Okay, here in place. Okay, in place equal to true. Now it should run. Okay, now let's take a look at our df, right? df.info. You see everything is 891, right? Everywhere we don't have any null now. Okay, we don't have anywhere null. Okay, so now I think we have a data which is ready. We have a clean data, we have a value everywhere. We also, where we had nulls, we also taken mean and mode. We have adjusted the data in a better way that we had before, right? So data side, I think we will be satisfied for now, that we don't want to make any changes right now. And our data is pretty much changed, and the required fields are there, and not required things we already dropped, right? So all data side, I think we should say that we are kind of ready, right? And if you go back to our models here, right, so we know what is our prerequisite here, right? We have the resources, we have the all the data collection is done, and we know our problem statement. We also did some exploratory data analysis with pandas and numpy. We did, right? We made changes. We have a final data frame ready. We have a this df ready with the important information which doesn't have any nulls. Okay, so now what we can do, we can just try to plot this somewhere. We can plot it. Okay, so there is a very important library, guys. If you have not installed it, you can install the Seaborn. Okay, I have it installed, so I'm just going to import it. Okay, import Seaborn SNS. Okay, if you have not installed it, just do pip install Seaborn. Okay, it will get installed, guys. Pip install Seaborn. You can use the same name and just pip install. Okay, so this is imported. Okay, now what I want to do in Seaborn, right? I want to rel plot this one. So if you don't know about rel plot, you can simply to try to understand any plots, guys, in any visualization technique that we have, right? For any library, you can simply go Seaborn rel plot. Let's say I go to rel plot here. You'll see what is there, right? How you can plot it and all, right? But in quick view, I can just give you that what I'm going to do. I'm just going to this rel plot, and rel plot is something which has two axes. So this is basically like a 2D plot. This is basically like a 2D plot, but we can also provide the third where it will represent those two 2D axes. I'll quickly show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so rel plot, and I want to say our x-axis will be P class. Okay, I'll tell you why I'm telling this also. Because by seeing the data, I got a hint that wherever we have a class and age, right, that matters. Or quickly we can see, because this class is something you always remember, right? When you're traveling to any, train on any flight, they have class, and that make it more safer, guys. If you travel in our normal train in India, so you have a different class. If you remember, the AC compartments are kept ahead, or it is like a more safer for the train perspective you talk about, right? So likewise in classes does matter when any accident or anything, right? So this classes, and you'll see it here, or if it is true we can see it here, right? So what I'm saying here, let me just turn, data is taken from the DF. Data is taken from the DF. Okay, survived. Okay, so it's sns.rel plot. X-axis is PC class, y-axis is age, and hue here is the survived. So whoever is survived, I want to plot that. Okay, and let me just run this. Okay, what happened? Rel plot x-axis PC class, which is here P class. Y is age. Age is here. He is survived. Survived. The spelling is correct. Okay, no, there is okay, survived and data equal to DF. Okay, here take this out. Data is equal to DF. Okay, now it is running. So if you see now, okay, so it is plotting age here, right, in the y-axis, class in the x-axis, and this plot is actually for this particular age and PC class, whether that person survived or not survived. Okay, so if you see here, orange here is person survived. Yes, right, survived, if you remember here. So data, right, survived, survival here, y is equal to yes, so 1 is survived. Okay, so orange is 1 here. If you see in class 1 class, or the first class, you see that approximately 75% people survived, right? You can just make that understanding by seeing this plot, right? The 75% of people actually survived, and survival is not good if the age was high. If you see the age above 60 was like people like almost 60 70 people, 70% of the people died if the age was around more than 55 or 58, right? By seeing this we have that basic understanding, but in total I can say that 75% of people in the first class survived. Okay, and if you come to the second class, if you see here, here there is a mix. I think 40% or 30% people, more than 30% people survived here, right? And survival was very good if the age was less. I think they were giving preference to the kids and women's, right? So if you see, this survival was good, right, for the kids. But we have lot of people here, like a mixed ratio of it, right? 40-45% or close to 40% people survived in this class. Okay, now go to the third class 3 here, right? PC class 3. Here, if you see, survival is very bad, and we have lot of people here, right? If you see the data here, the more occurrences are here, and survival is very low. We have very good I mean, we have like 40-50% survival if the person is under 20, and then survival is very bad. I think most of people died, not survived here, right? So this, see this rel plot, by understanding the class, age, and survival rate, we are getting the understanding that age and PC class is very important for our model. That basic understanding we got, guys, here, right? The basic understanding is what we got here. Okay. So now we have seen that how we can collect the data, correct the data, and also we can plot it somewhere, right? So I will I will leave this class here. We'll continue with more plots, more understanding the data in different way. And the next thing will be how we can define a model, or what will the model, right? The basic thing is what we can do for our model. So that will be the next session. Next session. So Thank you for this one. Thank you. If you have learned something from the class, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit on the bell notification. So next time when I upload a video, you'll get notified. Thanks for watching.